I'm no tech genius, but I knew if I wanted my business to crush it, I needed a website now. Thankfully, Bluehost made it easy. I customized, optimized, and monetized everything exactly how I wanted with AI. In minutes, my site was up. I couldn't believe it. The search engine tools even helped me get more site visitors. Whatever your passion project is, you can set it up with Bluehost. With their 30-day money-back guarantee, what do you got to lose? Head to Bluehost.com. That's BLUEHOST.com to start now.
Welcome to the best show on the internet, starring John and me at this particular moment, guys. My name is Jason, joined by always by one of my best buddies, John Orlando, Justin behind the boards. John, how are you doing this fine day that nothing else important is happening?
Yeah, I mean, it's such a slow day today, this Sunday. I mean, not a thing is going on in the world whatsoever. I mean, it's nothing but cupcakes and teddy bears apparently out there.
I'm looking forward to the Kendrick Lamar concert we're going to get tonight, the little 12 to 13 minutes of that. But, dude, I was at work the other day and somebody asked me if I was watching the Super Bowl. And I'm like, no, I'm not really into sports, but I am going to check out Kendrick. And, oh, no, I said, no, but I'm going to check out the halftime show. And the person asked me, I swear to you, what do you want to watch? What are you looking forward to at halftime? I'm looking forward to the part where they talk about the game that I don't want to watch. That's the part of halftime that I'm looking forward to. No, it's the Kendrick concert, of course. But how are you, John?
Well, a little under the weather, but we're muscling through. We're pushing through. You know, I've been sick most of the week, but I'm actually feeling better, even though I may not sound like my normal self, but I'm feeling better. So that's what counts. And yeah, happy Super Bowl Sunday to everybody, by the way, even though we're being a little facetious early on. But anyways, we're here hoping that being on a little bit earlier than anticipated, or as usual, I should say, that'll give us still a good crowd checking out this episode of Matlock, which we'll get into here in a moment. I don't want to spoil too many things here. I almost gave you an opinion on the episode, and I don't want to do that just yet. But
I know Daniel and Liz will be here today because I told them both that we were going on early. And also, John, the word of the day for this episode is Frank is an overactor. That is what I've got for this episode of Matlock. Little spoiler for everybody out there. But what have you been watching? Anything fun?
I watched something really cool today. I was just flipping around on YouTube, and I stumbled across the channel. The channel's called Rocky Watches Movies, and he did like a 20 things you didn't know about the Dukes of Hazzard. So I watched it, and I gotta say, well done to that dude, Rocky. There was some really cool stuff that I did not know about the show that he revealed in that countdown. To me, the most shocking thing was that the General Lee was actually weighted down in the trunk, because when you would, you come and you'd hit the ramp to do the jump, you want the car to land with the rear wheels first. Heavy engine, in the front of a car, if you didn't have the trunk weighted down, it would just nosedive and like face plant. So they had to load up the trunk with all this weight so that when the stunt guys would take off, it would be up and down on the rear wheels, which I thought that was pretty cool.
Nice.
So,
we do have a comment from our buddy Daniel. He's saying, hey, now, what's up, buddy? Glad to have you here tonight. Daniel was also on 3 Geeks last night as in the chat, and that was a lot of fun having you there, buddy. Thank you so much. And once I figure out how to make mods again, I will make you a mod for both shows.
Hey, real quickly, Daniel, I'm sorry, earlier this week, I didn't respond to your Dallas message, but you said you were starting the season where it might go downhill, jump the shark, as they say in the industry. I have to think back as to if I agree with you with your season. So you're going to have to let me know again what season that was that you were going to start watching.
I've never seen Dukes of Hazzard.
Really?
Yeah.
No, as a kid, I loved it. Because it had, It had the everything what a little kid would want, like a fast car and cool jumps and a neat story, if you will. Actually, it was based on a true story. Actually, there was a dude in North Carolina that was like a moonshine runner, and he had a souped up Chrysler, and he would outrun the cops. And ended up, he gave that up and became, I think, like a mechanic, if I remember correctly. He had a regular 9 to 5, but he actually was on one of the episodes in the first season as a crooked used car salesman. He had a cameo, so I thought that was pretty cool.
That is cool. I'll have to check out that 20. I like watching those 10 things you didn't know about things that I've never seen, because I have a dream of one day being in a pop culture trivia contest, and I want all the knowledge in this head as I can humanly get. I don't know. Have you watched Pop Culture Jeopardy at all on Amazon Prime?
No, I have not.
Dude, me, you, and Justin should enter.
Oh, okay.
You get to be your team of 3.
That's it. We could do it.
Yeah, well, we could do it. I can get those answers right on that show. Colin Jost is the host. They use the actual Jeopardy stage. It's awesome. Daniel's answering your question right now, John.
All right, Daniel, let's see. What is it? Finished up season 11 today and started 12. Season 11 cliffhanger had JR getting shot once again. Oh, yeah, I remember that. Because it kind of is lame. Like, that worked also, well, to be honest with you, what, like 10 seasons prior? Yeah. Lazy writing, people.
Well, it's the 12th season. I've not seen one episode of Dallas either.
Oh, man. You don't know what you're missing. Anyways, so what are you watching?
John, you know with me that is a loaded question.
It is.
I am absolutely adoring Dexter Original Sin. Episode 9 just aired. We're getting the finale this week. My friend Autumn and I are going to do a series review on that at the end of the week. I'm watching that. I'm watching, all of the law shows that I watch. Shark Tank. I watch everything. John, everything. If it is on TV, I'd watch it.
Nah, I don't know. There's some things I bet I can name. Come on, let me guess 3 things and see if you would watch them or not. You got to be honest, okay?
They can't be reality shows because I don't watch those. Other than the flip off with Torek Christina and his current wife. It's him and his current wife versus his ex-wife on who can flip a house better.
You know what? I find both of them to be repulsive. I when they had their old show, I used to hope that they would come in over budget. Like I'm like, I hope they lose their rear ends on this house because they deserve it because they're disgusting people.
I don't know. I find them entertaining, but I'm like that with game shows, with everything. I like to see people fail. I don't know what that says about me, but I don't know if you've ever watched the show The Wall when people would get greedy and go for it, even though they have a nice little nest egg that they can walk away with. I always would just laugh because, you did this to yourself.
Yeah, no, I get you on that. I just those two annoyed me to no end. Like of all the reality show hosts, especially HGTV hosts, those two annoyed me the most. I couldn't stand them.
Max and I went and saw Love Hurts with Ki Hugh Kwan, and it had a property brother in it that made me think of that. But that movie was a lot of fun.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Very campy, but fun. Okay. Campy.
All right. Cool deal. All right. Well, are you ready to talk about this episode of Matlock?
Hi, John. I've been ready since I watched it twice.
Wow. You are dedicated. All right. I said, let's go ahead and get ready to jump into our opening statements. All right. The title of this episode is called The Defense, and its original air date is December 6th, 1991. We have 3 guest stars, one of which you've already mentioned, but we'll talk a little more about him in a minute. Let's go with the most notable. Frances Bay returns. That's right. Frances Bay, who will be playing the role of Rose Hayes. We all know her and love her as Grandma in Happy Gilmore, Aunt Barbara in Blue Velvet, Thelma in Inspector Gadget, Dottie in The Wedding Planner, Aunt Ginny on the TV show The Middle, Mrs. Finch on The Uglies, Mrs. Pickman in the movie In the Mouth of Madness, and she played Samantha Bergstrom in The Trial, which was season 5, episode 19. It's the one with the crooked prosecutor, and she had stuff being sent to her mother down in Savannah, and I think it was Conrad that went down and talked to her, or maybe it was Michelle. But Frances Bay returning. Anything that you want to mention about fond memories of Mrs. Bay or whatnot?
No, just that I absolutely love her, and I am so glad that she lived 20 more years after filming this episode.
Yeah. So let's move on to Andrew Robinson. He plays the role of Frank Hayes. You may know him as Garak on Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Larry in Hellraiser, Sergeant Botnick in Child's Play 3. He was the killer in Dirty Harry. No, like that was his role, the killer. Admiral Thomas Cly on Jag. Pumpkinhead 2, Blood Wings. He was Sean Braddock, and he also was Frank Ryan on Ryan's Hope. So, Mr. Robinson has quite a career. Anything you want to touch base on? He was in a lot of horror movies.
I did like him in Hellraiser. I don't remember him particularly in Child's Play. And this, he is overacting like to no end. I don't remember if he did that in other stuff, but in this, it's definitely he's bringing it.
See, I didn't think he was that bad overacting. I thought he actually did.
Come on. Oh man, it is real bad.
Maybe there that one scene where he goes, "You're a slut." That was a little bit over the top. All right, our last guest star is a gentleman named David Kaufman, who, for the love of God, looks exactly like Scott Wolf back from Party of Five. All right. But David Kaufman, he will be playing the role of Danny Hayes, and he has an amazing career of just doing voiceover acting for various different animated projects, such as Danny Phantom and all the Danny Phantom side projects. He was Jack and Goldie and the Bear. He had several different roles on Doc McStuffins. He was Johnny Storm in Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes. Gary Wyman on The Mentalist. That's one of his roles that's not a voiceover. Aldrin on The Buzz on Maggie, and Stuart Little in Stuart Little. So this guy, man, he found a niche and he stuck to it, didn't he?
Oh, dude. Yeah, he loved what he did. Yeah, he was the voice of Stuart Little. Did you say that?
Yeah,
Sorry
I did.
if I missed it. Yeah, and after I read that, I'm like, he sounded a little bit. I could see him replacing Michael J. Fox as the voice of Stuart Little.
Yeah. All right, we got a comment from our friend Dan. Let's go ahead and bring up Daniel. Andrew Robinson was also in Cobra, I think. I don't know. I'd have to. Jason, can you jump on that?
No, because I have the loud keyboard in front of me right now.
Oh,
I will make everybody go deaf if I start typing. But Cobra is such a badass movie. He's chewing on the matchstick at the beginning while he's in the grocery store. I love that Stallone movie.
Do you know it was originally supposed to be Beverly Hills Cop?
Mm-hmm.
Like the script was really for Beverly Hills Cop, and it wasn't lighthearted enough for what the studio wanted. So they went back and did another revision of it. But Stallone liked it, and he ended up keeping it. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, Jason's loud keyboard on his backup computer. It's loud. Mm. Like, go ahead, give a sample. Just go ahead. Just quick sample.
No, I don't want to, because I don't want to make people go deaf. I think that sound is annoying and awful, and I'm not going to be a subject to spreading it around the internet. People do not want to hear that. They've got headphones on, they're listening to us, and okay. Liz is watching us right now. She's trying to crochet and knit, and we can't scare her when she's playing with the needle.
That's true. Justin, thank you very much. He picked up the slack for us, and he said, yes, he was in Cobra. So Andrew Robinson in Cobra. All right. And Jason, it's about that time for me to ask the magical question. The question that I asked you every time we do this show. Are you willing to give your opinion, solely your opinion, and only your opinion, so help you?
I do, John. So let's testify.
Testify!
If you guys are listening to us on audio, you're missing us dancing, and you should totally jump on YouTube and check out the videos sometimes.
That's right. All right, let's talk about the plot of this episode. Ben must defend a young man accused of killing his father to protect his mother. Our opening scene, it's the ATL at sunrise. Cars on a very busy suburban street. We see a scene where Frank comes home. He opens the garage door. He drives in. Gets out of the car, shuts the garage door, and his son is standing in the doorway between the house and the garage and said, look, Dad, you need to leave. And Frank says, nah, I'm not going to leave. You need to leave, Dad. Nah, I'm not going to leave. Get out of my way. and they argue and bicker. And what do you know? Frank pushes his way past his son, enters the house, and then is shot 3 times in the back by his son. What a way to kick off the show, I guess.
It is a way to kick off the show, man. And like, dude, like maybe shoot him in the foot or the leg or the hand or the arm. Like, I don't know that you had to kill him. Like, I get that he was an abusive jerk, but I don't know about, like, you know, whatever. One less on the street, I guess, is fine.
No, you're right. He shot him at center mass. Like, he didn't just aim. Like, he could have been like Denzel in Training Day. They could have shot him in the rear end, you know? But yeah, no, shot him 3 times in the back. So the cops arrived to arrest Danny, and the mother pleads with the cops, please, you don't understand. And Rob Brooks is like, ma'am, I'm sorry, we got to take him in. So they started taking him in, and as they're leaving, Grandma and Danny, they share a glance. All right, we have a comment from Liz. So, Justin, I am knitting, actually, but I also bought an intentionally loud keyboard for myself, so go ahead. Does yours light up, Jason?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. Because I think that would just be the icing on the cake, is if it was loud and it also lit up in bright colors.
Well, if it lit up, man, I would use it a lot more because that'd be freaking awesome.
So we go to a scene at Ben's house. Michelle enters. Again, no one locks the doors. No one in Atlanta locks the doors.
I mean, that's true. To this day, I don't think anybody in Atlanta locks the doors. And Matlock is cooking something that's not a hot dog. I'm actually pretty impressed.
I know what you mean. In fact, Michelle and Ben banter about his dinner choice. She brought him a cookbook about fruits and vegetables, and he's doing fried chicken. And they banter back and forth about it. But the phone rings, and Michelle answers it, and here it's Christine Hayes. And so then we cut to a scene at police headquarters where Michelle's talking to Danny. Danny's like, look, you don't understand. Dad said the other night, if he came home today and Mom was still there, he was going to kill her. So I had to do what I had to do. And Dan feels 100% justified in killing his dad. Michelle goes, no, there were other things you could have done. Did you get a restraining order? No. Did you call the police? I did, but I didn't leave my name. Couldn't you get your mom to move out of the house? No, I couldn't. So basically, it looks like Danny's kind of screwed, for lack of a better term. He does ask Michelle to tell Grandma sorry. And again, that kind of drives home this like strong link between the two of them. So we cut to the courtroom, and we have a guy named Conley, who is the prosecutor. And Conley is being interviewed by the news, and he, tells them everything that he wants to tell them. And he is going to be representing the state against Danny. And so he runs into Ben, and Ben and Conley, they kind of discuss the case a little bit. Kind of the whole sticking point is that this wasn't just a knee-jerk reaction from Danny, that there was time for him to figure this out or to take different action or to plot out what he did. And so, lying in wait is kind of the sticking point. Ben gets frustrated at the end of the conversation, and the two men part, and he whispers, jackass.
Yes, and Ben's kind of overplaying his hand here because there is no proof that this guy ever was abusive. So the fact that Ben went to him looking for a plea deal you need more than just the mom and the son's word, because, that's not enough. I don't even know if the grandmother's word would be enough, but, just because she's her husband's, or she's the husband's mother doesn't mean that, she's still her grandson, you know what I mean? But I think he overplayed it a little bit in this scene. I mean, I shoot your shot.
Well, you know what? You said there's no evidence. They do have that evidence that they mentioned somewhere in the episode that she had a broken leg. Christine got a broken leg because he pushed her down the stairs. But again, you're right. That could easily be explained away. And there seems like there's no other abuse. Like there's no other witnesses coming forth or any more evidence. So we go to the courtroom, presumably the next day. Conley is making a very dramatic opening statement, only followed by Ben's equally as dramatic opening statements. I mean, these guys, they were pulling out all the stops for this.
Mm-hmm.
They should get an award for great acting. So we go back to Ben's house, and Ben and Danny are talking about the case and how Danny feels about things. And, you know, if he had just called the cops, then there'd be a paper trail. The whole time, though, Ben keeps going, eat your pie, eat your pie, eat your pie. Then I actually wrote down, Danny, eat your damn pie. Like, it just got so annoying.
He's stressed out. I mean, he just killed his father, even though he was an abusive jerk. I mean, that still would weigh on you, I think, especially if you're not psychotic.
So we go back to the courtroom where a guy named Mr. Blissing is put on the stand, and a guy, I should say, a young man, because he doesn't look more than 20, 21 years old. And he talks about a fight that he got into in high school with Danny. And Danny basically thought he stole an expensive gold pen, which he didn't. It was later found in Danny's car, but Danny ended up punching him and cracking a tooth. Upon cross-examination, though, Ben's like, did you ever get in another fight with Danny? He was like, yeah. Why is that? Because I hit on his girlfriend and they got into a tussle there. So, again, it shows that Danny does have that bad temper, but he's not the aggressor when it comes to certain things.
Yeah.
I got to tell you that I love Sam Parker. Sam Parker's introduced next as he gets called to the stand. Reason why I like him, because he is such a Dollar Tree mobster if there ever was one. Seriously, like this guy, man, oh man. Well, he supposedly is the best friend of Frank. So the night before the murder, they stop by the house. Christine comes out and is like, hey, what are you doing here? You're not supposed to be here. And he's like, well, I missed you. I wanted to drop off some flowers, blah, 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 blah. Well, guess who strolls out from the other room as well? Mr. Williams, the new lover of one Christine. And so Christine gets, Mr. Williams leaves, and then Christine tries to go upstairs, and Frank jumps up on the stairs and goes up and grabs her. And in between is Danny. Okay. And so basically they argue on the stairs. They argue on the stairs, and Danny throws Frank down the steps. And so this is where if you're not out of here by tomorrow, I'm going to kill you. That's where the statement comes in.
Yeah. Where I first noticed the overacting, but, I mean, it's his drinking buddy. Like, his drinking buddy is not going to say anything mean about his friend.
Right.
He might be drunk on the stand. We don't know.
He's drunk on the stand.
You always hated your father, didn't you? No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Oh, okay. So funny you mentioned that, because Ben's up to cross-examine, and Ben says, so you were at dinner, with Frank? Parker said, yes. Did you have some drinks? Yeah. Did you have, 2 or 3? Yeah. How about more than 3? Maybe. And basically, Ben's doing that to destroy the credibility that maybe he was drunk and he didn't see what he saw. All right.
How many lemon slices did you have? How many lemon slices?
Eat your pie, Sam Parker. Eat your pie. And also, too, Ben does this line of questioning about how many times Sam and his wife hung out with, of course, Christine and Frank. And he was like, well, not that often. And so painting a picture that this guy's really not as close of a friend as he claims to be. And so Parker, he gets mad and he spouts off a bunch of stuff about how that kid hated his dad and et cetera, et cetera. And that leads Danny to have an outburst because...
No, I didn't.
Why not? I mean, look, Ben's going to give him the pep talk in a few scenes, right, about being on the stand. So you mean to tell me, like, that day he didn't pull him aside and say, look, you sit behind the table. All right, shut up. Don't say anything. Even if they engage, just shut up.
Especially don't whine like you're 7.
Yeah, don't whine. You whiner. You want a little cheese with your wine? Anyways, Michelle goes to interview Grandma. Grandma is pretty tight-lipped about things. She's like, I didn't hear anything that the day before the murder. I didn't hear anything. Yeah, I know. No, I don't know if they've had fights. I don't think I saw it.
Do you think Danny moves and changes his name to Happy and becomes a pro golfer?
No, he does not. So we go back to the courtroom, and Christine is on the stand, and basically they kind of talk about the situation in the relationship, and it's kind of, for lack of a better term, a stereotypical like abuse cycle. You know, she she got abused. He apologizes. She takes him back. It happens again, et cetera, et cetera. But then Conley, in his cross-examination, pushes this this idea, this theory that permeates throughout this episode, is that no one thought the threat was real. That in the heat of the moment, you say things that you don't really mean, et cetera, et cetera.
Liz has a comment that kind of goes right here, so
Okay.
I'm gonna call an audible. So she writes, how old is Danny supposed to be? I finally remember watching this episode, and I thought he was like 15 the whole time. That's not really. They did mention that he's tried as an adult, so is he under the age of 18? That's a very good question, because they did say he's being tried as an adult.
Well, I assume that was like he was like 17, because he was still, that high school situation happened like the previous year. But that's a very good question, Liz. It's never really clearly stated how old he is.
I mean, the actor's obviously 40, but
you know what? I saw this real quickly. Side note. I watched one of those Vice documentaries about the 90s, and they were talking about 90210 and its vast popularity. And that was the funniest quote. I laughed so hard when they talked to Jason Priestley, and he goes, "Yeah, I was the hottest and the most popular high school senior at age 24." I thought that was hilarious. Hey, man.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
You know what time it is? It's hot dog time. It's hot dog time.
Nice. We should turn that into a drinking game. Every time Ben has a hot dog, take a shot.
Well, Ben and Danny, they talk about the strategy for putting Danny on the stand, because Ben feels like he has to, right? So Ben runs down, look, they're going to do this, they're going to do that. You can't lose your temper. You just gotta maintain focus and tell the truth. Within seconds of this speech, this dummy, Danny, gets all bent out of shape over something super easy and super simple to solve, and he gets really mad about it. And it's like, that's what Ben's telling you not to do, dummy. Yeah, absolutely. By the way, I think I failed. It's in my notes. Yeah, it is. It's over here in the margin, that when they talk about the night before the murder, there are these weird cutaway scenes that are kind of jarring. I did not like them. I thought that they could have done it a different way. They could have done it a little bit smoother in doing the flashback cutaways, but this just kind of, to me, I didn't dig it. I don't know if it was just me or what. Did they bother you or no?
No, not really. I don't want to spill my hand on this episode, but I actually enjoyed this episode for the most part.
Okay. All right. So Danny's on the stand, and he testifies about Frank and Sam Parker stopping by the house. And again, it's the same scenario where Mr. Williams comes out, and then Frank gets really mad, and rightfully so. Okay. He should be upset that the fact that his wife, who they're not even divorced yet, they're still technically married, is hanging out with another dude. Right. But then Danny, and Frank and Christine, they're all on the stairs again, arguing and bickering. And this time Frank misses punching Danny and tumbles down the steps. And then he says, "If you're not out of here tomorrow, if you and your clothes are not out of here tomorrow, I'm going to kill you." I wrote down, why does he just say clothing? Like, that's it? Like, she doesn't get to take anything else, just your clothing. That's it. It's all you need to take.
Man, if overacting was a category at the Emmys, this guy would clean up. Speaking of awards, oh my God, I can't believe I didn't mention this at the top of the show. Kathy Bates won for Matlock for the Critics' Choice Awards.
Oh, did she?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Which is wild. I mean, they haven't even finished the season yet, and she's already winning awards. But
I know.
I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah, I still have yet to watch this week's episode, so I haven't.
I haven't watched this week's either.
Yeah,
did I? Maybe I did. I don't remember. Like I said, I watch a lot.
You watch so much TV, you can't even keep it straight,
dude. I really can't, John. We're thinking about doing I'm thinking about doing another 3 Geek show a week, like doing one where I can just talk about TV and just start jotting down what I'm watching. But I really need to do more with what I watch.
Can't you do like a little spreadsheet on your phone of what you watch?
I bought a notebook. Did I bought
you
it
mean like me?
Yeah, I bought it 3 months ago, and I've written down 3 things.
Oh gosh, come on, man.
Movies to review. I've done 2 of them. I still have 1 more to
go. Okay. So let's get back to the issue at hand here, because Conley is going to come up and he's going to paint a picture of how Frank wasn't around a lot. Danny, he wasn't there to play ball with you. He wasn't there to see you doing your sporting events, et cetera, et cetera. That made you angry, didn't it? It made you upset. You have resentment. You have resentment for your father. And of course, Conley gets Danny to do what Danny does, and that's lose his temper and spout off a bunch of stuff.
See, I didn't think Danny was that bad. I thought that he did a pretty good job comparatively.
Well, Michelle, we have a scene where she's talking with Rose and Christine, and of course Ben is there, and of course Danny, and excuse me, I'm sorry, that's not correct. My bad. I read the wrong note. Sorry about that. Michelle does talk to Rose and Christine only, and she talks about how the jury has to be on their side, and they're not right now. Basically, Danny could end up with life in prison. So we go back to the courtroom, and Grandma Rose Hayes is on the stand. Rose has heard the fights between her son and her daughter-in-law. Danny had told Rose about the abuse that he witnessed, and Christine told Rose about the abuse too. Rose was in the kitchen while this big kerfluffle happens in the living room the night before the murder. She didn't come out because she didn't want to hear it. And then it's revealed that indeed Rose's husband himself was an abusive son of a gun as well. He would beat on her. And so Rose heard the threats, and she was very afraid for Christine. And then this scene ends very abruptly, and I was like, wait, what? Isn't there any more? We're not going to follow up on that statement? And it just ends. It was very odd, very weird. We're waiting for the verdict. This is where Ben, Danny, Michelle, Rose, and Christine are all waiting. They're just waiting. And then all of a sudden, we're told that by the foreman, the verdict is in. So we come to the courtroom, and the jury finds Danny not guilty. And again, another abrupt ending to the episode.
So, well, I'll get into it in my wrap up of this episode. But
okay, is there anything else? They're also, by the way, I missed another note that Danny has the whole, right before they go back to the courtroom, Danny has the whole, I should have done this, I should have done that kind of a discussion with himself. So, All right, anything else that we overlooked in our notes?
No, man.
All right, then, if you're ready, then let's go ahead and get into our closing statements.
This is the part of the podcast where John and I will rate the show on a gavel system. 1 gavel means we weren't really big fans. 5 gavels means we absolutely loved it. And 475 gavels means that this was way better than the turd we watched last week. John, how many gavels do you give this episode?
I give it 2 gavels.
2? You gave this the same rating as last week's? Ugh.
Yeah. Well, no, you're right. This was better than last week's. I don't know. It just didn't seem like much happened. Like, to be honest with you, it was all focused on the courtroom. There was no real time spent outside of the courtroom. I don't think the case would have ever went this way in real life. I was annoyed with the flashback cutaway scenes. They started a pretty comic storyline about eating healthy, and then they just dropped it. I don't know why that was in there. Some of the abrupt transitions between scenes bothered me. Sam Parker was laughable as his character. Excuse me, the guy that played Sam Parker was laughable. My only positive I could say is that I think the tone was fitting of the episode. Like, they weren't, like we've talked about before, they weren't taking social issues and poking fun or making them very ridiculous. They were handling this very professionally and very well done in terms of the topic, but that's it. The rest of the episode, I was not a fan of.
I give it 3.25. And the reason I give it the extra 2.25 is because there's something very real in this episode that they touch on. And that is, he mentions he called the police and that night, and the police said, we can't do anything until a crime happens. That is 100% real. Like, nothing can happen until something happens. Like, no matter the threat, somebody can threaten you all day, but the police cannot step in until something has happened to you. And that is awful. And, they did mention it in this episode. My biggest critique with this episode is kind of the same as yours, only I think this should have been the 2-parter, not last week's. Like, yes. I think there's a lot that they really could have explored in this with the subject matter. And it's one of those episodes that makes me wish that Andrew Griffith had gotten his way in the beginning of doing a little bit grittier, darker show, because there is definitely a really good story that they could have flushed out over the course of 2 episodes. So yeah, it gets that for me.
Yeah, I totally, now that you mentioned that, I would totally, if this was 2 episodes and The Suspect was just 1 episode, those 2 would have been much better, much more enjoyable to watch. I think we have a few comments, don't we, Justin?
We do. He gives it 2 out of 5. Drunk Richard Christie's at the Super Bowl tonight. That is funny, Daniel. And then Liz says, I like that the flashbacks make absolutely everyone an unreliable narrator, but there's no real mystery to solve. Absolutely. And I mean, the art of the overacting by Frank in those flashbacks is just something that should be studied in film school across the country. Very well done. I hope to run into him someday.
Is he still alive?
I think he's still alive. I remember the only one that's passed away is the older lady, which again, I'm glad she lived 20 more years after this episode.
Yeah. All right. Well, Jason, what's happening with the 3 Geeks podcast?
Oh my God, so much. I have kind of learned to edit, and my shorts are not as good as Justin's, but they're starting to look a little Justin-esque, especially like Justin in the beginning. So I'm pretty happy about that. And we are doing really, really well, man. We 14,000 views on TikTok in the last 7 days, and we're at 31,000 views last 30 days on YouTube. So thank you everybody for the support, and it means a lot. At 3 Geeks Podcast, follow me at 3 Geeks J, and let's talk movies, because that's what I love to do.
All right. Well, the PVD Cast is my own personal podcasting project. And right now, this week's episode is a recap of the Royal Rumble. Myself and the Pro Wrestling Pundit sit down to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly of the event. And you can find the PVD Cast at pvdcast.com or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. With that, shall we wrap this up just a little bit earlier so we can go watch some football?
Oh, sorry, I fell asleep when you mentioned the word football.
All right, you know what? I'm going to throw it out there. I know I can speak for Justin as well. Justin and I are fully behind Philadelphia. So
I say
Eagles.
Go Taylor Swift. Get your 2nd Super Bowl win. I'm looking forward to it. And I'm there for you, Taylor. It's your world. I'm just living in it. I'm glad you let me.
You heart, Taylor. Am I
I
doing it
you
right?
And Travis Kelce. I hope you guys run away tonight and go to Vegas and get married.
Am I doing the thing right? Is that okay? I didn't know. Anyways.
It's a heart.
Okay. All right. With that, then, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much, Liz. Thank you very much, Dan, for checking out the episode, and everyone else that's been watching. Thank you as much. We appreciate it. We know we're a little bit behind on the audio feeds. We're going to get caught up with that. Things have kind of got a little bit busy with us, and we did not get a chance to get those wrapped up. We're about 3 behind, so we'll get those to you quickly. But thanks again for everything. We really appreciate it. And as they say in court,
all dark sea yarn, nothing further.